In a moment, something is going to pass right in front of your eyes, and you won't see it, even though you'll be looking straight at it. Not because your eyesight is bad, not because it'll be too fast or too small. You'll see it physically, the image will land in your eyes and reach your brain, and you still won't notice it. That sounds like a trick. It isn't. It's one of the best proven facts about how your attention works, and in a moment, I'll show you exactly how it lies to you. Let's start with the experiment that became famous around the world. In the late 90s, two psychologists from Harvard, Daniel Simons and Christopher Chabris, filmed a short video. It shows two groups of people, one in white shirts, one in black, passing basketballs to each other. The groups weave through one another, moving in circles. The task for the viewer is simple. Count how many times the people in white pass the ball. You have to focus, because white and black are mixed together, so you have to watch only the white and ignore the rest. People count. They focus. And halfway through the video, something happens that nobody expects. Right through the middle of the frame, between the players, walks a person in a gorilla suit, not sneaking along the edge. Into the center, stops, beats their chest with their fists like a gorilla, and calmly walks out the other side. It's on screen for 9 seconds. Then the question comes, did you see the gorilla? Half the people say,
"What gorilla?"
Half the viewers didn't notice a person in a gorilla suit who walked into the center, beat their chest for 9 seconds, and left. They were looking straight at it. The image of the gorilla landed in their eyes, reached their brain, and they didn't see it. And it's not that they were careless. It was the opposite. They were so focused on counting the white passes that the brain decided everything else was unimportant and simply didn't show it to you. The gorilla was black, and they told themselves to ignore black. So the brain ignored the gorilla too. This has a name: inattentional blindness. It isn't a defect of the eyes. The eyes work perfectly, the image arrives. It's attention that decides what from that image will reach you at all and what gets cut out before you ever find out about it. And here most people do one thing. They say, fine, I'd have noticed the gorilla. Others maybe not, but me, yes. This is exactly where it gets truly unsettling. Because when you ask people whether they would notice the gorilla, 9 out of 10 are certain they would, that they specifically wouldn't miss it. And yet half the people who watched did miss it. So half of these confident people are wrong. They just have no way of seeing it. Because if you miss the gorilla, you also miss the fact that you missed anything. You don't have a hole in your head labeled something was here. You have a smooth, complete picture in which nothing was missing. And that's the first half of the problem. You don't just fail to see things that are right in front of you, you're also convinced you're seeing everything. Before we go further, one more experiment, because this works the same way live, on a real person standing a step away from you. The same researchers took this out onto the street. One of them, holding a map, walked up to random passers-by and asked for directions. The person would stop, start explaining. And then, in the middle of the conversation, two people carrying a large door would walk between them. For a second, they blocked the view. During that 1 second, behind the door, the person asking swapped places with a completely different person. When the door passed, someone else was standing in front of the passerby. A different man, different clothes, a different voice, a different height, and he calmly finished the same conversation about directions. Half the people didn't notice. They kept talking as if nothing had happened, giving directions to a new person, convinced it was still the same one they'd been approached by a moment earlier. This wasn't a gorilla in a crowd on a screen. This was a person you were talking to face, a step away from you. He turned into someone else right before your eyes, and you keep talking, not seeing the difference, because you weren't looking at who he was. You were looking at how to explain the way. The rest, including his face, got cut out. And again, the same thing. When those same researchers described this scene and asked a group of students who would notice the swap, everyone raised their hand. Every single one was certain they'd catch it. And on the street, half don't. It's easy now to think this only works on random people watching a silly video. That an expert, someone trained, someone who looks for a living, wouldn't miss it. This was tested. And the answer is worse than you'd expect. More than a decade after that video, another researcher, Trafton Drew, took radiologists, people whose whole job is staring at scans from a CT machine and catching tiny abnormalities, nodules the size of a grain. People trained for years in exactly this, to see what others miss. He gave them a series of lung scans to look through and told them to search for cancerous nodules. That's their daily work. And into the last scan, he pasted something extra, an image of a gorilla waving its arm, almost 50 times bigger than the nodules they were looking for. Huge, in the corner of the scan, impossible to miss. 83% of the radiologists didn't notice the gorilla. Trained experts looking professionally at an image whose searching is their job simply didn't see the huge gorilla that was there. And now, the strongest detail from this study. The researchers tracked their eye movements, and it turned out that most of those who missed the gorilla were looking straight at it. The eye landed exactly on that spot. The signal came in, and the gorilla still didn't reach awareness because they weren't looking for a gorilla. They were looking for nodules. The brain got the order, find small round spots, and everything that wasn't a small round spot got cut out, including the gorilla they were looking straight at. And here, we reach the heart of it. The answer to the question of why you don't see the gorilla right in front of your eyes. Because your brain doesn't show you the world. Your brain shows you what you happen to be looking for. At every moment, far too much comes in for you to process it all. So the brain doesn't try. Instead of showing you everything, it chooses. It takes what matches whatever you're focused on right now and passes only that through to your awareness. Everything else, though it lands in your eyes, gets cut off before you can find out about it. That means you don't watch a scene and pick out what matters. It's the reverse. First you decide what you're looking for, and then the brain builds the whole scene out of that, cutting away everything else. Your attention isn't a spotlight that lights up what's already there. Your attention is a pair of scissors that cuts the world down to the piece that happens to interest you. And you don't see that piece as a piece. You see it as the whole, as a full, complete world in which nothing escaped you. Think about what that means for your ordinary day. You walk down the street thinking about something important and you don't see the friend who passed you. You look for your keys on the desk and stare straight at them and don't see them because in your head you're holding an image of different keys. You drive and talk and the motorcyclist you were looking at simply never reached you. You say afterward, he came out of nowhere. He didn't come out of nowhere. He was there. You were looking at him. You just weren't looking for him, so the brain didn't show him to you. It's not that you miss something now and then. It's that your whole life you see only the answer to the question you happen to ask yourself. And to everything you didn't ask about, you're blind. And you don't even know how much that is, because by definition, you can't see it. The world is full of gorillas all the time. They walk in front of your eyes, beat their chest, you're looking straight at them. And you count your white passes, certain that you see everything.